What's going on, guys? Aaron here with NAP Transport, part-time YouTuber, full-time driver, and overtime buffoon. So, what I wanted to do is I wanted to go over a comment that was mentioned in a live feed by Driver Lineup. Somebody had mentioned that why would they lease purchase a truck from Prime when they can go to a dealership? And that made me think, because Eric over there at Driver Lineup is always mentioning how the number looks daunting. You know, $5,000 a month for your fixed costs plus your fuel and tolls and stuff like that. So I've been driving now close to 5 years, and I've done lease purchases with companies. I've done company driving with companies, and so I kind of have an idea of how a lot of these places work. So the way a lot of places do it, and I'm just speaking on lease purchase, and this is just from what I've read and researched about the lease purchase here at Prime. So at other companies, what they'll do, as much as it might pain some people to hear this, my first almost 2 years was at Swift. Well, the majority of it was at Swift, and I went lease purchase to buy myself a paycheck because their company trucks were garbage at the time. I can't speak on them now. I've been gone for years. Their company trucks were garbage, and I spent so much time sitting in the shop that the only way for me to make money was leasing a truck. So what they did was, it was a 3-year lease, you know, which I think it was pretty comparable to what you're paying at Prime, about $150,000 over 3 years. But that reset with every new driver. So say the driver before me had it for 2 years, well, then I'm leasing it for 3 years, and you know, $150,000 plus the $100,000 that other driver paid. Of course they were making money on that truck. Of course they were making money like that. Now, I don't know if there's, I know there's a different division, but between lease and lease purchase, I don't know exactly how they do it. But I know if you just go straight lease purchase, by the time your payments are done, you're paying about $150,000. Now, I know on the lease side, and somebody please correct me if the ACE lease is different, but say sorry, I'm jumping around here, but the 3-year lease, the regular straight lease, if somebody leaves that truck, like this truck right here, when I started at Prime, it had a 3-month lease on it, and that's because people before had the truck for 2.5 years, you know, a little more, whatever. That left me with 3 months on this lease. So I didn't have to restart a full 3-year lease, and that worked out for me. I can go into reasons for that later, but so there was only the amount of time left on the lease, and correct me if that's not how it goes with an ACE lease, but for the most part, this is kind of the meat of what I'm getting into. You have a truck at a dealership for $150,000. We'll just say that it's spec'd exactly the same as this one. You know, down to the same APU, the TPMS that Prime puts on it. You know, all of the other stuff that, we'll just say it's 100% the same. So with the 3-year, you're paying about $150,000, $155,000, maybe $160,000. I don't remember what the exact number is. So you're basically paying the same as a dealership. But if you were to say to me, well, I could find that same truck at a dealership for $130,000. Okay, that's fine. $2,000 a month. And say sorry, brain fart. I just had a call that I ignored. So you could do it for $2,000 a month. Give me 1 second, I'll be back. Alright, sorry about that, guys. Had a phone call come in. So, where I was at with that. You're saying you can get it for $20,000 cheaper and half the price a month. What you're not realizing is you're paying for that over, say, 5 or 6 years. I'm paying for it over 3. And I'm saying I, as in ACE lease. I'm not doing an ACE lease right now, but so over 5 or 6 years, you're paying interest on that truck. So really, you're paying the same amount. Plus you had, I can't really speak on down payments because with ACE leases, you have a down payment too based on your longevity with Prime. But you're paying the interest on it. The other difference is with an ACE lease, 3 years. The truck is paid off in 3 years. At that point, obviously you're still going to be putting money aside. You're going to be doing all of that kind of stuff. But you still have potentially up to 3 years of warranty left. A lot of warranties right now, especially on the Cascadias, are, like 6 years, 600,000 mile warranty. So at the end of that 3 years, you still have, we'll just average it out and say 300,000 miles of warranty left. At your 6 years that you've been married to the truck, your warranty's expired. Even if you didn't do the 600,000 miles, that warranty's expired. So now, while I'm sitting here knowing that I really only have to pay for wear and tear on my truck, and I really only have to pay for general, routine maintenance, brakes, tires, oil changes. If the motor goes out, it's still under warranty. Transmission goes, still under warranty. Whereas at the end of the 6-year term, you're having to save to pay for all of that. Where at that point, I just have to make sure that my bills are paid. So in reality, we're paying the same amount of money. But I have more freedom when mine's paid off. Because at Prime, it's 3 years or 4 years, I think, under certain conditions. I'm not doing one of those, so I can't speak 100% on it. But it's 3 years or maybe 4 years. And then you're free and clear. Many people don't even own their car in 3 years. A $20,000 car. And yet you can own a truck in 3 years. It's amazing to me. But we're paying the same amount of money. We're getting the same amount of value out of it. But we have 2 less years of headache. 2 to 3 less years of headache. So that's kind of what, why I think Prime actually has a good thing. Back to what I was saying about Swift. At the end of the lease of those trucks, say you paid $150,000. You have, potentially $50,000 or $60,000 in balloon payment that you then have to finance. Yes, I understand 100% where you guys are coming from when you think that leases or lease purchases are what many people call fleece purchases, because the company is out to rob you. But here at Prime, you do that 3 years or 4 years, you give them $100 and they give you the title. That's it. And from my assumption, again, I'm not doing an ACE lease, but from my assumption, that $100 is to cover like the notary fee, the transfer fee, the processing fee, whatever. So why wouldn't you? I definitely recommend it to you guys, and I think you guys will be able to see that it's not as bad here as it is other places. So thank you guys again for watching. Be sure to comment, subscribe, like. I don't know. I'm still trying to learn this YouTube thing even after a while of doing another channel. So, do your thing. Make sure you guys stay safe out there. We all have families to get home to.